Well, House Democrats say they have settled on a new trade deal with Mexico and Canada. That is the new NAFTA, as some are calling it. It's the USMCA, and that will set the stage for approval of the deal by Congress in 2020. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi approved the deal an hour after presenting articles of impeachment against the president. So a lot going on. And Rick Newman joins us now to discuss. So, Rick, what can we expect next? Is this a done deal? Is it all set? It still needs approval. Might it not happen?
Oh, there's still some trifling issues, but it looks like the House is going to approve it this year before they leave on, I think, December 20th. Then it goes to the Senate, so the Senate has to ratify the same deal. And the sort of behind-the-scenes political, there's a little bit of political backlash here because there are some, believe it or not, some Democrats are unhappy that Nancy Pelosi gave President Trump a victory on trade. But there are also some Republicans who feel like the Democrats got too many concessions that favor labor and that this didn't go quite exactly the way Republicans wanted it to go. So that suggests it could be a little bit bumpy getting through the Senate, but there's no way I think that the Senate would actually fail to ratify what is basically President Trump's signature trade deal at this point. I mean, remember, Republicans do control the Senate, and they want to give Trump that victory.
So, Rick, how is the USMCA different from NAFTA? Where are the changes being made?
It's hard to find them. They're subtle. But there are some more aggressive rules for domestic content within the North American trade zone. That's all three countries, U.S., Canada, and Mexico, with regard to automobiles. So more components need to be sourced within that trade zone to be duty-free, which supporters say may bring some additional manufacturing jobs to the United States. I'm not entirely sure about that. Oxford Economics, a good forecasting firm, published an analysis yesterday. Said the macroeconomic effects of the trade deal will be negligible. That was their word, negligible. That doesn't mean it's a bust. It just means they're not expecting it to actually add much that you would notice to GDP growth. But it is much better than the other thing Trump threatened to do, which is completely withdraw from NAFTA, the old trade deal, so that we'd have no trade deal and we'd have tariffs between the three countries. So compared to that, the USMCA is much better.
Rick, I guess I'm a little confused. When we're talking about the Mexican president and Donald Trump, they seem like best friends at this point, right? Mm-hmm. No mention of immigration came up at all. So are they just going to ditch that and not discuss it anymore? Are they just...
I think that's entirely up to
partners?
Trump. That's entirely up to Trump. I mean, it's not something the Mexicans ever wanted to discuss. And it's, for President Trump, I think it's, when he first got into office, he campaigned so hard on immigration that he had to do something. And we saw how aggressively he went after building the wall, different policies towards people trying to get into the country through the southwest border. That has calmed down a little bit. And I think the data that I've seen actually says fewer people are actually trying to cross, probably because I know it's harder, and the numbers are down. So Trump seems to have backed off of that for a while. I can see him starting to talk about that again as he really starts a campaign into the first, probably really the second half of 2020. He thinks that's a big issue for his base, so he's going to be hitting that again. But we haven't heard much about it, but I think it's coming back.
Well, and he can also tout having gotten USMCA done.
I was wondering how much political capital this would give the president in an election year.
A little. I think it'll give him a little. I mean, this trade is complicated, and I'm just not sure how much voters pay attention to the details of a trade deal. And of course, his critics are going to be saying, but on the bigger issue, China, where is he? He's got nothing to show for it yet. So maybe he'll have something by 6 months from now. Who knows?
All right. Trade man Rick, thanks so much for joining us. He's a trade man.
Never knew it.
Hey, investors. Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.